Alrighty.
There's a car coming too, so.
All right, you can look at this camera.
I would say.
Oh, I'm recording.
A little bit, you guys.
Yeah.
There we
Oh, here we are at the Queen Inn at the Queen Anne. Man, it's got a nice closet. Can't see it in the dark. And over here we have a little kitchenette
That we won't be using.
that we won't be using. But there are two things in this room that we will be using. That's one of them. And I'm probably going to use this, maybe three things. Shower. Sink. And a television. This room's got everything.
Alright. Come on in, everybody. I got room for all of you. Hey. Towards the back and the sides of the building.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really. Yeah, that's good.
What? I don't know what's walking around.
Go light. Go light. This guy.
Actually, I'm the one that's scared.
Okay, good for you. I'm proud of you. I didn't like it. It's worth the photo.
That look good.
Estoy como Edgar.
First he was scared and now he's like, wanting to go back.
7박 8일 동안 가는데 고생 좀 하시겠어요. 왜냐면 하나, 둘, 셋.
Stand up there.
I'll take a picture.
So are we ready to go?
No, he's got to take pictures of the room.
Okay. Got it? Anything else?
Patience, but no, no. Yep.
If you carry cash when going ashore, smaller denominations are recommended. Cash advances are available at guest services or a service fee. Relax and enjoy one of our beautiful onboard pools.
Guess there's a way.
All right, Walter. We're in it. People, it might not be you, it might be us, it might be our machines that didn't pick up your card right. So we're just going to shout the names out. If you're here, give us a shout or just stick your hand in the air and we'll check you off.
Here we are at Ketchikan.
The recorder.
Just outside my house.
Out.
Gary. I think we're on you.
First car right here.
I think you're our guy.
Like filming myself. That's actually one of the things on my checklist. The first thing you do on your Hummer is you have to go through a checklist of stuff, and one of them is all these things like the umbrellas and the binoculars, blah blah, and then the last two things on the list are all the free tickets.
Yeah.
So there's an envelope in the glove box that has free Saxman tickets and free Discovery Center tickets. Which are the only time I use those is if it's pouring down. We love her. She's one of the coolest people ever. Yeah, it's working. But it's not, because there'd be a person watching it. There it is. Hopefully they'll get fixed at some point. But yeah, when it's working, you pay like $1. They stamp your hand. It's just a quick way to get up there by foot. Just trying to get up there by foot without that involves a lot of stairs.
Footprint analysis. Oh shoot, we must have
You
the
babes
hour.
looking for a couple guys?
Yeah, that's us, all right. We haven't got enough trouble with the ones we got.
There it is. Boy, that's pretty blue. There's a boat. You see the boat? Look at that curve. That's a nice ice there. I can see the dirt in it. Whoa. The water hit that iceberg.
That's a nice one.
I think the last time we went in there, didn't we?
So. I think we were, yeah, we felt like we were much closer. Any animals?
I haven't seen anything. I've been looking.
Uh-huh. So the boats went in, they haven't seen come back out yet, huh?
They had when we were there, and they were way, way, way up
Yeah,
in
that
there.
small boat, so they go in.
Iceberg is above water?
A fifth, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, not much of it.
yeah, so,
That's why the Titanic made this mistake.
yeah.
Took that iceberg and just trim it. Take one place that cracked apart.
Look at the inside is water.
What?
There's an inside part that's water on there.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
I wonder if it's creosote in these logs.
If what?
Creosote.
Oh, I would imagine.
Huh?
I would imagine.
Charlie got that scope right there.
Only had a brain. Got my phone. He's okay, John. You're gonna get him all used to being harangued, getting him ready for a wait. Yeah.
I didn't count. Raise your hand if you're not here.
Don't want to come back.
Did you guys enjoy your time here at the glacier?
Yeah.
Excellent. We're heading back downtown.
Yeah.
Get you guys from. Like I said, you guys are at the perfect dock.
here with, and the sort of big maps.
Dennis.
Yeah, I wonder what a good-looking chick like you is hanging around here for. Huh? What? I got it.
Yeah. I don't know if he likes it.
This is rated one of the most scenic drives in the world. And so enjoy it while you can. Sometimes it can be very windy down here, so you pay more attention to driving than you do looking at the view. Alaska is the only state in the country where we actually can flag down a train. We have one route and it will stop anywhere. You can flag it down and you can ask them to stop.
All right, everyone, welcome aboard the Ptarmigan. How y'all doing today? All right. You could not have picked a nicer day to come cruising with us. We're all excited to have all of you. This is lovely. Thanks to whoever brought the sunshine. So first off, I want to do an introduction and go over some quick safety information, and then we'll pass the mic over.
It is squirted into the existing rock from deep below the Earth's surface. And it's very important for a particular group who also experience the cold katabatic winds that wash over you, chilled by 60-year-old ice, as that wind travels over the ice and washes over you. Now the chaotic surface that you see here, with the lumps and cracks and crevasses, the spires sticking up, called seracs, are caused by the flow of ice underneath. The deep ice is plastic in nature and organic on this side, but you never know when and where it's going to break loose. Well, folks, this is the lucky day. That is something we do not often see, so that was fantastic. Do keep looking. It was on the right side of the glacier, and awfully impressive.
Flames out.
We are your tour guides. You don't know where we're going now. That's okay, we'll go.
We'll follow you anywhere.
Ah, that's nice. Here. You don't want to sit there. There's a hump in the floor.
No place for your feet there.
One more.
This one.
There's a hump in the floor.
So you can see what's in those tide pools. And is this today? Cool. They flew yesterday. James and I went out to the spit, and I said, "Honey, if you want to look at those trailers, you better look today." We went kayaking, we came home, and at noon there was not one. And you know the one, what's it called? Heritage on the spit. Not one at noon. Like they locked the door, shut it, opened it. He's like, "They were there." I said, "I told you this morning if you wanted to look." We're good.
Yes.
We're ready. Well, because there were people standing there, so I thought I'll just get on the first one. The man goes, "You're in a hurry." I'm like, "Yeah." Sorry.
Morning. How are you?
Morning.
Good, man.
Afternoon. See you tomorrow.
It's Sunday. It's Sunday out there. Cold in the day. Look at how cool that is. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you again.
They have
Either one. Both have 34. These are excursions, so we have highlight excursions. The line for sun downtown. Every day. Yeah. Because there's a bus downtown. We have highlights, either bus 8 or bus 9. Good morning.
Thanks. Hi, Lance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Hi. Orange. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, we are. And you know, they didn't give you a footstool.
Like that paddle? I love it. There we go.
I wonder what cat skin is.
I'm not sure what it is, but I don't think it
Was that of a nurse or that? No, how?
Looks like it's pronounced Skydive.
Got some Kodiak hats on. Have you seen?
I saw the hat you were looking at.
Yeah, Kodiak.
$15.
Yeah. Nice piece. God.
So is that a little island right there?
Where?
Yes.
Who me? That's a little island.
Because there were glaciers on it at one time.
Yeah. See where that glacier goes, look at that passage off. Whatever's behind that passage is going to become a lake.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that rock on that side, see it?
Rock where?
Straight down. Straight down. Look down. Look to the left.
Yeah. That is. I can say it was so much better than what we saw the other day.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you did pictures for a really good time, though.
Yeah. Oh, right there. Did you get it? It just fell.
So a piece off,
Yep.
straight ahead,
Huh?
straight ahead.
Yeah. Well, almost right in front of me, but further, a little bit to the right.
Okay.
Right. See a little bit more just fell.
Yeah. Hey, one thing, you can feel the coldness coming off this iceberg. It's glacier.
It is cold, all right.
Where's the people?
They're over further.
Well, that's enough to send a, look at that wave coming up.
Wow. That was amazing.
I didn't get it.
Boy, hey,
I
they,
didn't
they
either.
just, if they got through, they just got through there in time. See that wave coming out there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't think I got it either. I can't see it.
I think it's calving away.
I don't think I got it, no.
We're turning.
Yeah, I wonder why they're turning.
So the other side can see it.
Well, I mean, why did they just turn around?
Yeah, I know.
That was my question. nice that we at least got to see it. The best thing is there's a little bit of warning before it breaks.
Yeah,
Because it you can hear the crack.
that's the last thing you hear.
The cracking, the cracking.
It's just constant.
Were you on the other side?
Yes.
Did you see down
Yeah.
there the big, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. You ever heard this much activity?
A little bit. Yeah.
What's it? Oh, the water? I can't see that far along.
Like to see it with binoculars?
Yeah. Thank you. We should have brought ours from the room.
Run.
I don't know what this is.
So if you look up on the mountain,
Okay.
that slide of snow that comes down, the big piece,
Yeah.
straight at the bottom of the glacier,
Oh, I'm
right
not
at
looking
water
here.
level.
Okay. Okay. Oh, where is it coming from?
There must be a river under the glacier that
Gotta
all.
be. It's really coming out of there.
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Amazing. Doesn't look that big from here, but when you look through the binoculars,
Yeah.
really.
It could be coming off the
That's
top
a lot
too.
of water from- Yeah.
I'm gonna go get our binoculars.
I sold them.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
got to be just a river through the glacier that's.
Underneath,
That's a nice big fat piece.
Man, that'll make a martini.
Beautiful.
Well, Spirit here is one of our newest education eagles at the center, and believe it or not, she is just 2 years old. She came to our center back in September of 2016, and this was after she had been found on the side of the road up in Juneau. So her age at the time was less than a year. She would have been born that April, which leaves us pretty comfortable in assuming that she was going after some roadkill up in Juneau, and then unfortunately was struck by a car, which is a pretty common occurrence for birds of prey. Either they're raptors and owls and they're hunting all the small mice that are attracted to the litter that's thrown out of cars on the side of the road, or they're large birds of prey like bald eagles, who, while they are very impressive, are much more interested in hunting efficiently. So if there's food that's already dead they can eat, or even something they can steal from another bird, they're very likely to do that. In the case of Spirit here, after her accident, we diagnosed her with blindness in her left eye. So her left eye is just all sort of scarred over. She can't really make out a lot on that side. And then once we gave her a little bit of time and space, we also discovered that she unfortunately has suffered some permanent brain damage. So that's a little harder to diagnose. We can't really put her in an MRI and map out the brain, figure out what might have happened there. But she has some behaviors that just don't really mesh with what you'd want a wild eagle to do. So one of the big things she does is when she jumps off her perch, she will often do a full backflip before she lands on the ground again. It looks really, really impressive, and she's definitely got control over it, or at least it doesn't bother her. So she'll land on her feet, go about her day, she's not stressed, she's not scared. But if she were to do that in the wild, say jumping off her perch to go after a fish, that fish is not going to be in the same spot after she's done her whole little acrobatic routine. So she'd miss out on some hunting opportunities with that. The other thing that we've noticed is that when she sees or hears something new, or something she doesn't have a lot of experience with, she will turn her head all the way upside down and then stare at whatever it is. This is a behavior that a lot of birds do. It's called head tilt. They just kind of turn their head upside down until they can figure out how they're going to react. For most birds, it's a matter of seconds. For Spirit here, it can be up to a minute. So she'll spend a minute staring at whatever it is, and then once that minute is up, she realizes, oh, I'm going to run away because that's scary, or I'm going to scream at that because I think it's another eagle in my territory. Which obviously would lead to some problems in the wild if you've got a minute delay on your reactions, because she would need to figure out within a couple of seconds if she's going to eat something, ignore it, run away from it. Whatever choice she makes is fine, but it needs to be a lot quicker. So with her eye injury and her head trauma, we didn't feel comfortable releasing Spirit. She just doesn't have a lot of the natural behaviors that she would need to thrive in the wild. So she stays here as an education bird. Very distracted right now. You want it? Maybe? There you go. And does a really good job just showing how impressive bald eagles are, with the added benefit of showing just what young bald eagles look like. So she gets mistaken for a golden eagle fairly often because of this nice dark brown feathering. As she continues to age, this brown and white mottling will increase. And when she turns 5, it'll all come together with a dark brown body, a white head and tail, along with that yellow beak and pale eyes. Whoop, hang on. That you think of when you typically think of a bald eagle. So that 5th year of age is also when she'll be considered an adult. So birds are a little different from us in that they can reach their full size well before they reach their sexual maturity. And what Spirit just did in falconry terms is called baiting. Not like fish bait, B-A-T-E. And what it means is that it was no longer worth it for her to stay on my glove. Yes, I know. When we train our birds, we use positive reinforcement. So Spirit knows that if she stays on my glove, she gets food. Sometimes she's like, great, I want food. Sometimes she wants to go to the bathroom. Sometimes she gets a little nervous about what might be happening. She is still fairly young. But we'll tempt her with some rat. No, not even rat? Okay. Well.
She wants to go. I'm tired of this. I'm enough.
We had a couple sunny days in a row, so she might just be working up with the rain coming back in, but you gotta get used to it. It's okay.
How much does she weigh?
She's doing good. How much does she weigh? So believe it or not, this giant bird weighs just about 10.5 pounds. She is a little on the smaller side for a female. They can be anywhere from 10 to 16 pounds, while the males are going to be between 6 and 10 pounds. And that smaller male size is true across the bird of prey world. So if you've got a very, very large bird of prey, it's most likely going to be female. You doing okay? A little nervous, huh? Yeah, I think the stuff in the window. But she's doing okay. She's still letting me know with her body language that while she'd prefer to be out in her enclosure, I can make her stay out a little bit longer since this is her job.
What are you feeding on?
The food that Spirit is getting today is a lot of fish, so she gets a lot of salmon. We'll also give her, along with our other eagles, deer and bear meat to mimic the kind of scavenger part of their life. On top of that, though, since she is an education bird, we like to give her a lot of different protein sources. Just since she'll be with us since she'll be with us for a while, we want to make sure that she's got variety and isn't getting too bored by anything. So she also gets quail and rabbit, and her absolute favorite is normally rat. There, let me see. Nothing's too bad if she's eating. Okay, that's probably good. Yeah. So rat is her favorite, especially rat heads. We will sometimes also give her a deer head to play with and kind of mimic her natural behaviors. Yeah. Any other questions while she hopefully cooperates? You're fine.
How long do they normally live?
How long do they normally live? So in the wild, they have to make it past their first couple of years of life, which is pretty hard. Young raptors have a fairly high mortality rate. Once they do that, though, they're looking at the early 20s for a lifespan. And once they're under human care, their lifespan typically doubles. So we can hope Spirit to make it to her early 40s, but we really want her to beat the current record, which is 50 years. Or immortal, also a fine option. Yeah.
When she tries to fly like that, do you feel a pretty intense pull?
When she baits off the glove, you definitely can feel it. Luckily, she gives me a lot of warning with her body language and lets me know she's about to jump. And if you notice, I don't yank her back, I spin in a circle with her. With the smaller raptors, we can kind of manhandle them a little more. Oh, thank you. But with her, the way we've been trained is that if we were to try and pull her, she could easily dislocate our shoulder. And those of you in the front who felt that power she's generating, it's probably no surprise. Then I saw, yes, do you have a question?
Do you ever get feed them live food?
We will rarely, but occasionally feed them live prey. It's not their primary source of food just because they all have injuries where they're not suited to live in the wild, and that typically translates to not as great at hunting. Also, the risk of the live prey having a disease or even injuring our birds before they can do them in is a big thing. But we will occasionally give her things like live goldfish. She likes to watch those. And sometimes there's someone who breeds mice on the island, and they'll give us small mice, and she'll kind of look at them a lot.
Is there any fish in that water where we saw them?
The stream in our flight training center is recirculated, and unfortunately, with all those eagles going to the bathroom, mostly ammonia at this point. So there's not a lot of oxygen left for the fish in there. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Is it true more eagles die of drowning than anything else?
Is it true more eagles die of drowning than anything else? That is actually a pretty persuasive myth. So there's an idea that eagles, if they grab like a fish that's too large for them, they won't be able to open their feet, and then they'll be pulled underwater and drown. As I heard Brittany talking about, their feet are very strong and impressive. And while they can apply a lot of grip strength and almost use their feet like a ratchet so they can apply pressure and hold it there, they are very capable of opening their feet and letting go. That being said, there are some times when eagles, mostly when they're starving, will grab a fish and just not want to let go. So they can if they wanted to, but they're at the point where if they don't get that fish, that might be the end of it. So they try and take it back to shore, don't always make it. We don't get a lot of cases like that, though. It is very, very rare for an eagle to drown. Mostly what we get are collisions with cars and power lines, as well as young eagles that are just kind of starving because they haven't quite figured stuff out. Good job. Okay, she's calmed down now. Excellent. Well, Spirit's going to go back into her outside enclosure. If you'd like to visit her more later, that's where she'll be. And I want to thank everyone for coming. I can come back out and answer a question.
Within 10-15 seconds, the eggs that will be fertilized are fertilized. And then clean, rinse
blood clots or scales or any gunk that's on those eggs. We want to get that out, because otherwise they'll just they can foul them in the incubators. And then the carcasses. Couple of things. We'll donate some to Rapid Center, which is there. The bulk of them get put in these blue totes, and they will get sold to a processing plant. So we can sell to we have a lot of
So we grew them about 3 to 5 years ago. Then we released them into the ocean and they come back here. Yep, pretty smart. They are pretty smart.
That one with
That's
the
a
egg?
male.
Oh, that's
It's
a
a male
male?
chum.
How do you know it's a male?
You can tell by their head. You get really big teeth.
Yeah.
And they're also very hard in here. You can kind of squeeze and see a little bit of
Alright,
milk.
you can get a picture of the
That's how you can tell it's a male.
It's soft, it's a female.
Yeah, that's when they have the eggs.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then you will throw them back into the water.
No,
With the eggs.
we're taking the eggs in here. If you look inside, we're taking eggs and fertilizing with the males.
How do you get the sperm out of it? Are you throwing back?
We're putting the pinks back, the pink salmon back, so we can spawn them tomorrow.
I have a question. How do you get the sperm out of them? Is it hard?
Yeah, all in here.
Just squeeze them.
They're gonna die. So where to go to sleep, huh? They're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
This is not the pink. Very pink color.
Did you go out to hatchery out at Lake Sonoma? You been to that hatchery?
No.
Yeah. They come back there too. But they don't, I think they get the food to eat. They got so many of them up here,
Let's say this and hit the tray. This way it's too low. Yeah. So all that orange is coming out is all eggs.
What do they do with the carcass?
The carcass will get tossed into totes, and then we sell them to a processing plant that in turn sells to companies like Purina for pet food or for fertilizers, that kind of stuff. So
Every part of the fish.
we try to not waste it.
So they're not edible?
No, these fish are not edible. They're still jumping around. It's just once they've been killed, it's like their nerves firing, kind of like chickens, and their heads will still move for a bit. Once the salmon's back in fresh water, their flesh starts to break down. It gets real gray and soft, and full of bacteria. You wouldn't want to eat it. It's not good for food at this point.
Why do you see food industry fishing the real estate, the fishing thing?
I have a question. If you get a king salmon and not a chum, what happens? Will they fertilize? If you get, like, say, a pink salmon mixed in with the chum or the coho or the silver, will they still fertilize?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't either.
They had a salmon hatchery program downstairs. We had a
Inca.
hatchery program, so that's what this building was, the housing for all of that. Now the aquarium we have here was actually started by Dr. Molly Algren. She was a professor at Sheldon Jackson. It's a touch screen. You can touch it.
Our stop is on the Northern California coast is just about gone.
Yeah, ours were too, because of the wasting disease that hit them all the way from
She feels successful today.
Yeah. We put 10 big chum salmon in there this morning. And those are the only 2 she hasn't killed.
Oh my goodness.
Here.
They went right away.
Thank you. Here, find some room up here. They are incredible to watch.
Don't go away. She'll be back.
Say.
Oh, excuse me. I guess it was. Oh, she's off too. They'll be back in a minute.
Hello everyone and welcome to Fortress of the Bear. My name is Cody and I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about our facility today. So Fortress of the Bear is a non-profit organization, meaning we do not receive any funding from the government, the city, or the state. We are funded solely by admissions, gift shop sales, and donations. So thank you so much for visiting us today. Now what we do here at Fortress of the Bear is we take in orphaned bear cubs and we give them a second chance at life here in captivity. Generally what happens in Alaska when a bear cub is orphaned is someone is actually sent out to shoot and kill that cub. It is seen as the most humane, cost-effective way to handle the situation, as that cub would likely not survive without its mother in the wild. And there currently is not a bear rehabilitation program in place in Alaska because it's actually illegal to release bears back into the wild here in Alaska. Now this is something we are trying to change because it is our ultimate end goal to start and pilot a bear rehabilitation program, because bear rehabilitation is done successfully in Canada. 29 of the adult brown bears that we have here. So all of our adult brown bears are over on my left-hand side. And the first 2 residents that we got in were Shaik and Kill Snoop. So Shaik, last I saw, was hanging out in the water. So he's the individual laying in the water there, kind of checking us out. And then his brother Kill Snoop, I have not seen moving around in a little bit, so he might be in the den or something like that. Now Kill Snoop's a little bit smaller, so I'm in search of a better food source for her cubs. I wound up chasing the cook of a nearby lodge into his kitchen at 4 in the morning, for which she did unfortunately have to be shot in order to save his life. However, it was later learned that this man had actually been baiting for bears. So he had been leaving food around the lodge to encourage wild bears to come closer so his guests could take pictures. Unfortunately for their mom, she found the source of the food, went to help herself, and lost her life because of it. Luckily for her cubs, though, we had actually just received our permitting 8 days prior. So we were able to get these boys brought in here. They were about 6 months old when we got them in, and not in the best of shape. They were underweight, they had broken teeth, glass embedded in their gums, and even patches of fur burnt off from flaming garbage on the landfill. At 11 years old, though, they're doing much better for themselves. Kill Snoop is about 850 pounds, and his brother Shaik is actually our largest individual at 1,100 pounds. And when Shaik stands up on his hind legs, he is over 8.5 feet tall. And we only expect him to get bigger, as male brown bears have what is called indeterminate growth, which means they continue to grow throughout their entire lifetime. So since bears in captivity can live 35 to 45 years, we definitely expect him to reach that 1,500 pound mark, if not exceed it within his lifetime. Now the other 2 adult brown bears that we have over here with Shaik and Kill Snoop are Lucky and Toby. And so Toby's the one who's right in front of the den entrance there, walking to the right on the far side of the wall. And Lucky's the one who's on the far side of the pool, kind of walking out of it at the moment. Now these two actually live right here on Baranoff Island, where their mom was raising them in the woods nearby. She was enticed closer to town by the smell of meat and fish scraps and people's trash that they were then leaving out overnight irresponsibly. So she came down looking for an easy meal and wound up consuming so much plastic and foil that she became impacted and died, which is a very slow and horrible way to go. Now luckily for her cubs, locals did notice them wandering around without their mother, so we were able to get them brought in here. They were about 18 months old when they came in, and Lucky had actually even been shot twice in the back leg by locals before they got to us. At 9 years old, they're doing quite well for themselves now. Lucky is actually our second largest individual at about 1,000 pounds, and his sister Toby is our smallest adult brown bear at 650 pounds. Now our two youngest and newest residents are over here on my right-hand side. Now these two little girls are Nuka and Nikiski. So Nuka is going to be the darker colored one with the light collar around her neck there. And then her sister Nikiski is the lighter colored one playing in the stream. Now these two girls, like I said, just came to us 2 weeks ago. They were orphaned when their mom was trying to get into someone's chicken coop. So in defense of their chickens, they wound up shooting and killing them. Now these two little girls were on their own for about 3 weeks trying to survive before they were finally able to catch them and bring them into us. Nikiski did have a little bit of a limp on one of her feet, but as you can see, she's getting around quite well now. And if when you guys leave, you want to keep up with their adorable little shenanigans, you can definitely follow us on social media, where we do try and post daily photos and videos of these sweet little girls.
Zijn ze nog wel buiten?
Ja.
Ah ja.
Now you might be wondering what our circular habitats were before we turned them into bear enclosures. So these were initially the water clarification tanks for a pulp mill, which shut down in the early 90s. They're absolutely perfect for our bears as they have solid concrete walls and a solid concrete base, which keeps our bears safe inside and wild bears safe outside. They also have built-in drainage at the center, which has allowed us to divert water from a nearby mountain stream to flow in and out of their habitats. So they get fresh water flowing through there on a daily basis, which, as you can see by the boys in the pool, they really do enjoy that feature. Each of these circular habitats is about 3/4 of an acre in size, which is about 9 times the size of your typical urban zoo bear habitat. And we can actually double that space for them utilizing our breezeway, which is this big metal structure on ground level in front of me here. So of course, once our little girls are safely locked down in their den, we can open up that breezeway, and it allows our adult brown bears to go back and forth between these two circular habitats.
Okay.
Not only doubling the amount of space they have, but also the amount of playmates. Now the third enclosure that we have here at Fortress is on this hillside in front of me here. So everything from that sheet metal fencing down is our black bear habitat, which we just finished expanding about 3 months ago now. So it gave our black bears access to a little over an acre in space back there. All those trees, berry bushes, and even a stream that flows back in there. Now black bears are a slightly smaller species than brown bears. They usually only get up to about 600 pounds or so, and we have 3 of these individuals back there. And they're actually the only 3 black bears that you will see here on Baranoff Island, as we don't natively have them in the woods around here. So these guys came from other parts of Alaska. We have 2 females back there and 1 male. Our 2 females are Smokey and Tulion, also known as Tuli for short. And they came to us from Seward, Alaska.
Having a ski day tomorrow, and then Victoria. And it's 20 to 2, so we'll be getting over there plenty of time.
enjoy the tour.
You see how the pulls it down? Open it. Oh yeah. Very quiet.
Everybody's taking a nap.
Everybody's something, yeah.
Okay.
Hello. How are you?
We have a few of those. And
Salmon bruschetta for an appetizer, carpaccio of beef tenderloin, Thai vegetable spring roll, shrimp and corn chowder, andouille and Swiss chard, smoked salmon, bear and fennel salad, French onion soup, Caesar salad, oven roasted chicken, broiled New York strip, grilled salmon with ginger, Yukon Bay fisherman's salad, pan-seared rockfish with artichoke. Oh my gosh.
Oh, big.
I have my glasses. Shrimp chorizo jambalaya, prime rib, Chef Rudy's classic Wiener Schnitzel, curry koken, baked shrimp. I could eat here.
Yeah, I could too.
No.
I'm afraid.
Okay.
I really didn't want to, but it does sound kind of good.
And I do like the idea of having a little more space and being able to sit in a little quieter environment.
Pretty good.
Than Toledo. It feels so rushed.
Lonnie behind
Lonnie
you.
behind you?
Yeah, I know it doesn't ding.
Think so? Probably.
Yeah, it does.
Most likely.
More likely.
I don't think he can take care of the big house.
No. She's got enough to take care of.
Yeah. Like everybody go down the ring.
There you go, Candace.
Deck 7, navigation deck.
Navigation.
Well, come home. Long day, that's right?
Long day.
Long day.
Long. Nice. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.